In today's news, Social Security and NHI offices closed until 12 noon today, while COVID-19 testing among staff ongoing.
And Scatliffe-Boynes appointed director and Freeman deputy director of the BVI Social Security Board.
A big win for the Foy family in the Tortola Pier Park Family Feud. The Cancer Society benefits from $1,000 donation.
And residents with shipping containers, materials, or equipment at festival grounds on Queen Elizabeth II Park urged to remove them ASAP. And city manager says this issue is getting ridiculous. And viewers also have a live interview with David Fonseca Sr. and Henderson Tittle on their Christmas gift distribution program. But we get to these stories when 284 News return.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Well, welcome everyone. It's Thursday, December 23rd, 2021. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We're coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. A happy Thursday to each and every one of you and season's greetings. We're beginning today's newscast on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands this morning. Members of staff of the Social Security Board and NHI officers could have been seen outside the office earlier today, December 23rd, 2020, waiting to be tested for COVID-19. Now, this is in part due to detection of some 5 positive cases among staff. Staff were notified via group messages last evening of the situation. Now, the office was initially set to be closed until today at 12 noon, but that has now changed to next Wednesday, while testing and contact tracing is conducted. It is unclear how long the office will be closed up until Wednesday, or if it needs to be prolonged. However, in the absence of the director, Mrs. Jeanette Scatliffe-Boynes, who is on leave, as well as the human resources manager, Ms. Deborah Leslie, our team reached out to the deputy director, Ms. Lori Freeman, who was unavailable for a comment at the time. Now, recently, the British Virgin Islands recorded another COVID-19 related death as active cases continue to rise within the territory, surpassing the 100 mark for the first time since August of this year. Now, this was confirmed in an epidemiological report published by the BVI Health Services Authority on Wednesday, December 22nd, which said the active cases within the BVI now stand at 109. Of course, more to come as this story develops, and I want to employ our residents to pay keen attention as the cases, unfortunately, are expected to rise.
Indeed, Ron, and obviously as the cases continue to rise, more and more facilities and more institutions will be impacted accordingly. Yes. Moving on, viewers, Mrs. Jeanette Scatliffe-Boynes and Lori Freeman have been officially appointed as Director and Deputy Director, respectively, of the BVI Social Security Board. But the final process of officiating the positions were conducted in the House of Assembly late Wednesday, December 22nd, by the Minister responsible for the Social Security Board, Vincent Wheatley. Well, according to the motion moved by Minister Wheatley, who is the Minister responsible for Labour, Immigration and Natural Resources, both appointments will come into effect from January 1st, 2022. Well, Scatliffe-Boynes has been the board's acting director since January this year, following the departure of former director Antoinette Skelton. Was speaking on her appointment, Minister Wheatley said he is confident in Scatliffe-Boynes' ability to elevate the Social Security Board to the next level.
It's a very, very proud day for me. I've known Mrs. Scatliffe-Boynes for a long time. She has served the board for a very long time, some 30 years, many times acting as director. So I have every confidence in her that she will take the board from strength to strength. I want to thank all of my honorable colleagues for their kind words in support of her appointment. The board has done tremendously well. The board is a success story. Some would say the only success story, but I would say a great success story. Just because there's a lot of work yet to be done getting NHI to the point where NHI needs to be, I believe with her leadership, we will get there. I want to wish her every success. I pledge my full support, and I wish her well in her endeavors going forward with the board.
Well, viewers, the Minister of Health and Social Development, Carvin Malone, seconded the motion and shared similar sentiments towards Scatliffe-Boynes' appointment, stating it came at the right time.
This is timely this is what the people of the Virgin Islands deserve in terms of a person who is committed to the cause of this country and has done extensive work in the country as regards to Social Security. We know that there are a lot of trials throughout the globe, global pandemics, and everything that goes with it. And Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Gina Scatliffe-Boynes is the person best suited for the job at this time. And as the night is fast spent, I will just give it my total, unreserved approval in terms of and I wish her the very best.
Well, viewers, Premier and Minister of Finance Andrew Foy says that the appointment of Scatliffe-Boynes is a testament that the top positions in the BVI can be filled by locals.
It shows that we continue to improve the skills of our people and get our people ready for whatever opportunities that come. It is good to see another Virgin Islander, and yes, a female, taking up this role, a very important role for an institution that has done us well from the inception. So I wish her well, Mr. Speaker, and that she'll continue to grow that institution from strength to strength into a new paradigm of success, Mr. Speaker. And for that, we pray God's blessings over her as she takes up this new endeavor. And may she continue to make us proud. And it shows what happens when we develop our people and believe in our people.
Well, in the meantime, Ms. Laurie Freeman, who has been the acting deputy director of the Social Security Board since December 31st, 2020, also received high praises from the aforementioned ministers and the Premier. Well, just 4 months ago, opposition legislator Julian Fraser opposed a motion to extend Mrs. Scatliffe-Boynes' position as acting director of the Social Security Board for an additional 6 months, as he argued that she should have been appointed at the time. Where Fraser attempted to move a counter motion to have Scatliffe-Boynes appointed as the permanent director then, a motion which failed to get the necessary votes to be passed in the House of Assembly, as it was not supported by any of the government legislators at the time. Ron, it's great news to see that, after, that segment in the House of Assembly recently where, opposition legislator Fraser basically would have voiced his concerns for the extended period of acting, as you would have seen a lot of top officials here in the BVI acting for years in some instances without being officially appointed. And here we see the government moving basically to have those two director and deputy director appointed by next year.
Kamal, I'm happy you raised the point of a lot of local Virgin Islanders acting in positions for quite some time. It is absolutely ludicrous and pathetic that we have professionals working in these fields for such a long time and not giving the reputable praise. I do want to look at the change in language, though, because the Honorable Julian Fraser was the person that brought this to the forefront. And now we see the Honorable Premier, along with his administration, changing the language to now support Ms. Scatliffe-Boynes, which I'm sure is well-deserved. But the question beckons, what was the difference between when the Honorable Julian Fraser raised the point to now her being appointed? I think we have to be strategically skillful in not using our locals to our advantage and not using them for our own political gain. If they're worthy and they should be deserving of a title, then give it to them, and at the end of the day, cut the final and unnecessary political speech that would allow us to take locals for granted. This is not an example that we're setting for our young professionals. We send a lot of people away for school, and we ask them to come back home once they've served their time. But what are we saying when you can have a person acting in a position for such a long time, and then you're giving them difficulty just because you want to seem as though you're politically correct? It's unfortunate, and we do wish Ms. Scatliffe-Boynes the very best in her appointment.
Indeed, and obviously at that particular point in time, the leader of government business, Andrew Foy, would have said that they didn't want to preempt the board's decision because there was a process that needed to be undergone before actually appointing her. So I assume that would have taken place eventually afterwards. But I guess all eyes will now be on the Recovery and Development Agency, where we have McMaster, who's acting over some
Honorable
period.
District for the 4th District representative called for him to be.
Honorable Vanderpool would have recently called the government and the RDA to make the necessary arrangements to have Mr. McMaster appointed in the position, since he's been acting so long and doing such a great job, as we would have seen a number of projects and programs
Yes.
completed under his leadership so far. Well, viewers, up next, residents with shipping containers, materials, or equipment at festival grounds and the Queen Elizabeth II Park urged to remove them ASAP. The city manager says that this issue is getting ridiculous. And big win for Foy family in the Tortola Pier Park Family Feud, with Cancer Society benefiting from $1,000 donation. But these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, persons who presently have shipping containers, equipment, and materials inside the festival grounds are being urged to have them removed by midday Friday, December 24th, or they will be removed and billed to the owners of the containers. Well, City Manager Mrs. Janice Brathwaite Edwards said that the issue of residents having their containers driven from Port Purcell to the festival grounds without first seeking permission and getting approval from the City Manager's office is getting ridiculous. Well, she made a statement in an invited comment from 284 News after her office had issued a bulletin on the BVI government's website urging residents with containers presently inside the festival grounds to have them removed before 12 noon tomorrow. But the city manager said the popular location will be booked from December 24th to March 31st and therefore needs to be cleared to ensure that the paying customer of the timeline has full access to the grounds.
I happened to pass festival grounds yesterday to see the one major container empty with all its contents on the grounds. What I would love for you to post in your story is the fact that if people are going to pull containers from the port to festival grounds, they need to contact the city manager's office to get permission. People just take their containers, drive them into festival grounds and offload them. They don't even take into consideration that maybe festival grounds is booked, because I'm sure that you saw that in the bulletin. Festival grounds is booked, and if it's booked, somebody has it already and they are paying for it, right? You bring in your container onto festival grounds, you need to request permission to bring your container there, and there are fees for bringing containers to festival grounds. People just have a tendency to just bring the container to festival ground, offload it, leave the stuff on the ground, leave the pallets on the ground, then it costs us to have to clean it up. When you haven't gotten permission and you haven't paid any fees to be operating on festival grounds, at the end of the day, it is getting ridiculous. It is getting ridiculous. That's why we sent out the bulletin, because somebody has booked it from tomorrow and then all the way to March. And we need to make sure that it's clear so the person has the full use of festival grounds, because they have already paid their money to use festival grounds.
Well, Mrs. Brathwaite Edwards said if the containers are not moved by midday tomorrow, her department will have them moved and have the bill sent to the owners of the containers.
When we call the record situation, yes, then we would have to pay the record because we call them, and then we would issue the person an invoice to pay the bill for the container. But it's getting ridiculous because we have a notice on the port that says unless you have permission, you should not be bringing your containers to festival ground. This is ridiculous. This don't make no sense. They need to request, and they probably need to get our contact information. The information for the office to contact is 494-3172. That's the office number, Wickham-Ski Development Authority's number. And the email is T as in Tom, E as in egg, M as in mother, P as in Paul, W as in water, C as in cat, D as in dog, A as in apple @gmail.com. But persons with containers wanting to offload on festival ground need to request permission.
Well, meanwhile, in a subsequent government bulletin, the city manager's office also made an appeal for persons with containers, equipment, and materials situated next to the Queen Elizabeth II Park to have them removed by Friday, December 31st. Mrs. Brathwaite Edwards also said that the persons who would like to seek permission to temporarily store their containers in the festival grounds should call the Wickham's Key Development Authority at 494-3172 or email them at tempwcda, that is TEMPWCDA @gmail.com.
Now, viewers, continuing on the local scene, it was a successful evening for the Foy family as they emerged victorious at the Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park Christmas Family Feud 2021. Now, the Foy family walked away with $2,500 as the prize, with $1,000 of the winnings going towards the Cancer Society. Now, the competing families had the opportunity to choose from non-profit organizations such as Spinal Bifida Awareness, Family Support Network, the BVI Red Cross, and the BVI Cancer Society. This is the second Family Feud event hosted by the Tortola Pier Park, which is a direct model of the hit American-based show. 4 families contested for the title and grand prize, namely the JFC family, Johnson, Forbes, and Sills, the Dugan family, the VI Gems, and the Foy clan. Now, the Family Feud competition was a part of the Tortola Pier Park's 3 Days of Christmas event, which included a fashion show, live entertainment, meet us at the movies, a parade, lighting of the Christmas tree, as well as other family-friendly activities. The highly anticipated Clash of the Carolers did not happen this year, unfortunately, but organizers say they are looking forward to this feature next year. Quite a spectacular family-friendly events at the Tortola Pier Park. We continue to wish the team there much success. Viewers, we have so much in store. Up next, we're going to be joined by the one and only Mr. David Fonseca Sr., as well as Mr. Henderson Tittle, as they take to the streets to bring some Christmas cheer to the districts within the Rotown area. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Jackson Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness. Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. As promised, I am joined by the one and only Mr. David Fonseca Sr. and Henderson Tittle, a male, as they take to the streets once again this Christmas to bring some Christmas cheer to the children of the BVI. We're going to have a conversation. Gentlemen, it is the second year in a row, and first of all, season's greetings and welcome back to 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Season's greetings.
You went from district to district within the Rotown area. Tell us about why it's so important. 2021 has been a tough year for all of us, but particularly for our kids. Mr. Fonseca, why was it so important for you to do this again?
This year was a really tough year, just like last year. So I decided to get up with Mr. Tittle again and let me get this thing done one more time to put some more joys on the kids, faces this year. Go through the partly of the 4th district, partly of the 5th, partly of the 6th, but we stand on the main road, so all the kids, everybody need to come out on the streets tomorrow afternoon and evening, like 3 o'clock to 4. We'll be out driving about, handing out toys to the kids, trying to put a smile on their face, That's it.
Beautiful. So that is going to take place, viewers, again tomorrow, which is Friday the 24th, Christmas Eve, from about 3:30.
From 3:30 to 5 o'clock.
Wonderful. Mr. Tittle, you have long been a partner as it pertains to mail and one of the stalwart community members who are trying your best to really point our young men particularly in the right direction. I want to speak about the collaboration between mail and the partnership with Mr. Fonseca. How did you come about this partnership, and why did you want to be a part of this initiative?
Well, Ron, it was easy. I normally have my coffee every morning at the Best Cup. And I think that's where it really began. One morning I was having my coffee and Mr. Fonseca approached me on this great idea. And he said he want to partner with mail. And I see it as a good opportunity for us to collaborate and work together. And this is our second year. Last year it was a success, and we sit again over a cup of coffee, strong coffee, and we have decided to go along with it again. So far, I think Mr. Fonseca has been working overtime, yes, and I really appreciate the job that he's doing. I call him the big brother, the silent big brother for mail.
And I'm glad you raised the point about Silent Big Brother, because when you look at the mail organization and the persons that contribute, not all persons are face-to-face mentors. Not all persons are face-to-face and on hand. There are many persons like David Fonseca and his team who are working behind the scenes to make sure that events like this happen. David, I have to ask you though, tell us about some of the people who may have contributed publicly or privately to make this event possible. Who are some of the sponsors that you'd like to thank?
All of the thanks, the Freeman, the Premier Office, Honorable Andrew Foy, all of the thanks, Karen Malone, Minister of Health, and Neville Smith, Deputy Speaker of the House. Those guys there really put in to help to make this happen. And also, all of thanks, Noni George, she did good too, she put in a good, you know, and Travel Plan.
Wonderful. Of course, that travel plan is of Ramasco Group.
Our Ramasco Group.
Yeah. Gentlemen, when you put the year into perspective and you think about community partnership, you think about community work, 2020 being hindsight, but we're 2022, we're coming up. I would like to think, and I want to make this appeal to you because there are a lot more needs within our community. Where do you see this initiative going, Mr. Tittle and Mr. Fonseca?
Well, it can only get better, because we have folks like JNC who is on board also. All of our gifts were wrapped at JNC. You know, Micah there, she did a great job. So I can see where we get more folks involved, and it just, we want to extend this to Virgin Gorda, Annie Gorda, and Just Van Dyke. Hopefully that's the aim. That's the aim, at least if we can touch the settlement, the valley, and you know, that's what we want to do. At least each of the islands we can.
And then maybe next year we might probably go to some other districts too. Maybe we could take it probably to the 7th, 8th, maybe the 1st, 2nd. You know, we just do it, you know what I mean?
Beautiful. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. And once again, before we go, Mr. Fonseca, I want you to reiterate to the general public, tell us once more before we go the districts that you'll be touching and the times that the kids can come out to the main street, the main roads that is, and receive some gifts.
We'll be leaving at Christmas Eve, number 1. The Christmas Eve at 3 o'clock. We'll be going through to the 4th district on the main, the 5th district, the 6th district. We're going to do all main zone. That's partly of all of it.
Wonderful.
We're not going to be, we can't cover the whole districts. So we'll be on the mains, okay? So kids, come on out. Mom, Dad, bring your kids out. Christmas Eve, 3 o'clock. 4th, 5th, and 6th district. Come on out, get a toy. Got enough for boys, got enough for girls.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your contribution to our society, season's greetings, and I look forward to much more amazing things from you and your organizations in the coming years. Viewers, we're going to be right back after a quick commercial break. You're watching 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, following several reports of last-minute cancellations of flights to the British Virgin Islands on InterCaribbean Airways, the regional airline has said that the many cancellations are due to the Turks and Caicos Civil Aviation Authority yet to approve their newly acquired aircraft as originally anticipated. But this was revealed in a statement issued by InterCaribbean dated December 19th, where chairman of the airline, Lyndon Gardiner, addressed the reason behind the many cancellations, which he said not only has affected the BVI, but also many of the other islands in the Eastern and Western Caribbean hubs. Well, he said InterCaribbean acquired an ATR-42 aircraft, which has a capacity of seating 48 passengers, that was delivered in July this year, with the intention of putting it in service on the routes out of Tortola. Well, Gardiner said that the introduction of the new aircraft would have released its E-120 aircraft to fly routes out of airports with longer runways as necessary step, as the airline recently started additional routes between Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Dominica. Well, he said, and I quote, "Well, the airline expected to have this new aircraft online in time for the holiday traffic increase. However, the aircraft named the Hugo M in honor of their own veteran Cap Hugo Mendez is a new type for the Turks and Caicos and is still in the necessary approval process by the local Civil Aviation Authority," end quote. Well, a spokesperson on behalf of the airline said that when the holidays approach with no approvals in sight, the company made arrangements to wet lease a Bombardier CRJ regional jet from Canadian Airlines to operate on the Northern Caribbean routes in the meantime. Well, Chairman Gardiner said that his airline will be sparing no expense to ensure that the company gets back to performing at the level they need to be. Well, he said, and I quote, "It was an expensive solution, but we felt it was worth the extra cost to live up to our commitments to our passengers. We feel the pain of our passengers with every delay and are sparing no expense in doing our utmost to return to our normal on-time performance level," end quote. Well, according to InterCaribbean, the leased aircraft arrived last week and following local and regional approvals was able to begin flights late on Saturday, December 18th. Around, obviously, over the last few days and last few weeks, actually,
yes,
dated back to probably a month and a half ago, we would have seen residents taking, not only residents, but visitors would have been taking this to social media and some of the local Facebook groups, BVI Live, BVI Real Community Page, etc., just voicing their concerns regarding last-minute cancellations from InterCaribbean, obviously affecting their trip and causing additional costs and additional expense to get here to the BVI.
One a client in particular called our newsroom. He was on his way to the Dominican Republic, and about 10 to 15 minutes into the air, the plane started experiencing difficulties, smoking and shattering, and they had to return to the TB Lethem International Airport, and he was on the island for about 2 days before having some sort of idea as to when there would be a flight out. So definitely a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of negligent issues that would cause clients to be frustrated. We do wish InterCaribbean the very best as they continue to try their best to improve. It is a necessary service, of course, that connects the islands throughout the Caribbean, particularly here, and connecting to the BVI.
And a lot of persons usually utilize the service also in connected flights.
Yes.
And obviously when you have a delay for a connected flight,
effect, yeah.
It's a domino effect that negatively impacts that connecting flight. That's, in most cases, a lot of persons aren't able to recoup that fund, those lost funds, which is it's really unfortunate. That's all I can say regarding that. But we do wish that InterCaribbean get back to the standard that we hope they should be at, to ensure that flights are the smooth service of flights in and out of the territory are as smooth as possible. Well, viewers, that's all we have for today's newscast. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We will see you again tomorrow. And tomorrow is Friday, but it is Christmas Eve. We are celebrating. We are making it. We have made it, rather, to the Christmas season, and we're so honored and thankful. So we do wish you a beautiful rest of the evening, a happy Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.